Hujambo mwanaspoti popote ulipo, Mkenya popote ulipo, mtazamaji mpenzi wa KBC Channel 1, karibu tena sana katika matangazo haya ya moja kwa moja. Tunakujia kutoka jiji kuu Nairobi katika hoteli ya Serena, ambapo leo hii ni siku ya kihistoria kabisa kwa sababu FKF, shirikisho la soka humu nchini, linajitahidi kumtaja na kumzindua rasmi kocha mkuu wa Harambee Stars ambaye ataweza kuisaidia ndoto za Harambee Stars makusudi kuweza kuwafikia ndoto zake za kushiriki angalau katika kipute cha kombe la dunia mwaka 2026 ambazo zitaandaliwa kule Marekani na hali kadhalika Mexico, kadhalika Canada. Na leo basi tupo hapa, tumekita kambi hapa makusudi kuweza kujua yapi ambayo yatakuwa yanatokea tangia mwaka 1961 tangia timu ya Kenya iweze kuzinduliwa. Harambee Stars haijawahi kupata fursa ya kucheza katika mashindano ya kombe la dunia, na mwaka uliopita Disemba tarehe 11 ndio ilikuwa siku ambayo kwa hakika Engin Firat, kocha Mturuki kutoka kule Uturuki, aliweza kujiuzulu na kuweza kujiuzulu kufuatia yale mwenye aliyoyataja sababu zake, na mpaka wa leo FKF iliketi chini katika ripoti yake na kuweza kutafuta kocha ambaye atakuwa ni kocha mtajika, kocha mwenye haiba ya juu, na ni kocha ambaye amekuwa amefanya makuu sana katika tasnia ya spoti. Ndipo leo hii wamekusanyika wadau kadha wa kadha katika ukumbi huu wa Serena hapa jijini Nairobi, wakiwemo makocha wa zamani, makocha wa sasa, hali kadhalika wachezaji wa kale, wale ambao wanajulikana kama legendary, wachezaji wa sasa, na wale chipukizi ambao pia wanawania kuweza kuchuana na kucheza katika nyanja za juu. Kadhalika marefari ambao wamefika hapa, akina Gikonyo nimewaona hapa, Titus Mulama mchezaji legendary wa kitambo, Bobby Ogola pia amefika hapa, hali kadhalika shuhudia hili la kihistoria. Ni mengi sana ambao Wakenya wanataka kujua kuhusiana na uzinduzi utambulishaji huu wa McCarthy, mmoja kati ya wachezaji ambaye amecheza Bafana, amekuwa ni mmoja mpaka wa leo anatajwa kuwa ndo mfungaji bora wa timu ya taifa ya Afrika ya Kusini. Amekuwa kocha katika vilabu tofauti ikiwemo pia Manchester United, na amekuwepo huko kuanzia mwaka 2020 hadi mwaka uliopita kama kocha, na ndiposa leo hii shirikisho la soka humu nchini likaona sio vibaya kuweza kumtaja kama kocha, tuone atakuwa analeta nini. Lakini siko peke yangu hapa, niko katika ukumbi huu, tutakuwa tunazungumza na wachezaji, tutakuwa tunazungumza na makocha, tutakuwa tunazungumza na mareferee, tutakuwa tunazungumza na wageni waalikwa waliofika hapa makusudi tuweze kupata hisia zao kuhusiana na utambulishaji huu. Na hapa siko peke yangu, ninaye alikuwa kocha wa Kenya Police wakati wakicheza NSL, wakati pia akawapandisha juu, na kwa sasa anafanya kazi na ulinzi. Si mwingine, atajitambulisha mwenyewe, anaitwa
Sadiq Mbani, waziri.
Karibu sana Sadiq Mbani, na ni siku kubwa sana leo hii. Hisia zako ni vipi na unajihisi vipi wewe katika siku hii ya utambulishaji wa kocha wa Harambee Stars?
Mimi ningesema leo kama kocha, kama Mkenya halisi, ya kwamba today is a new dawn for Kenyan football, because tunaenda kuona the coach ambaye amekuwa katika timu ya magwiji ambayo ni Manchester United. So ni kocha mzoefu, ana uweledi, na pia kama former player, very fantastic player. So tunaenda kupata kocha ambaye alikuwa mzoefu wakati wake akipiga ngoma, na pia kocha mzuri kwa wakati ya coaching tactically as a good coach.
Unadhani analeta nini katika timu ya taifa ya soka, kile ambacho tumekikosa siku nyingi?
McCarthy analeta uzoefu na uweledi, because angalia timu amecoach Manchester United siku zote, so kumaanisha tactically, technically, football wise, kila kitu inaenda kuchange. Na hata ukiangalia leo Unveiling yake, kila kitu ni top. Angalia vile watu wamemakinika, federation iko hapa yote, rais, naibu wa rais, deck members, Wakenya wote wako hapa, media, top media guys wako hapa. So kila Mkenya leo ana furaha, na ana pia, they are very very happy to see a new coach, a new dawn for Kenyan football, and a new dawn for Kenyan football.
Unadhani kwamba ni muda mwafaka ama ni makocha wa kimataifa kama naweza kuwataja, ama kama si wa kimataifa, maanake pia tuna makocha wa kimataifa wa Kenya. Je, unadhani ni makocha wa kigeni pekee ambao wanaweza kuleta imani na kuleta ile matumaini katika timu ya taifa ya Kenya na tasnia ya soka kwa jumla nchini Kenya?
Naam, hapa Kenya tuko na top coaches, kina Kim, kwa hapa kina coach Salim, lakini ningesema kocha ambaye anatoka nje ni analeta some sort of discipline kwa timu, kwa sababu haujamzoea, si best yako, aishi mtaa yako, si kabila yako. So utapata ni coach ambaye wakati anafika hapa kila kitu itachange, na all the football fraternity, all the football clubs, all the coaches watakuwa na furaha ya kwamba ni wakati mwema, ni wakati ambao wa coach wanaenda kufurahi ya kwamba players wote watakuwa na furaha.
Na tutegemee nini 2026? Tunaenda Canada, Mexico na USA.
McCarthy, tunapiga AFCON, tunamaliza AFCON, tunaenda kucheza top flight. So Canada tunakuja siku zote, lakini mimi nina furaha sana. McCarthy, karibu Kenya, karibu the city that never sleeps, karibu the city under the sun, Nairobi City.
Wito wako kwa mafans na wachezaji ambao wanakusikiza?
Mimi ningesema mafans watokee siku zote, mafans wa come, because hii federation ni federation mpya, na ukiangalia pia iko na former player, iko na mtu amekaa anapenda ball, Rais Hussein. So fans mazetu kuja tujaze study, tukam tujaze study, tu enjoy ball. Tuko na Gabon hapa hivi mtaa, wanakuja kupiga hapa Nyayo ama Kasarani, mahali popote watatupeleka. Mazetu come tushabikie maboys wetu, tushabikie nchi yetu na tushabikie Kenya.
Asante sana kocha. Anaitwa Mbani huyo. Asante sana, shukrani sana. Naam, ni katika hafla nzima ya uzinduzi wa kocha mpya wa timu ya taifa Harambee Stars ambaye
Ladies and gentlemen, for the excuse me, for the guys who are still outside, let's all be settled. In a short while, we'll commence our event. Naomba wote ambao tuko nje, let's all settle, because in a short while we are commencing the event. Asante sana.
Bila shaka ni katika shamra ya uzinduzi wa kocha mpya wa timu ya taifa Harambee Stars baada ya kocha Engin Firat kutoka Uturuki kuweza kujiuzulu mwaka uliopita Disemba tarehe 11, na leo hii shirikisho la soka humu nchini FKF linafanya uzinduzi rasmi wa kocha. Ni kocha tajika, kocha ambaye kwa hakika wengi wanasema ataleta mabadiliko, na nimesimama hapa siko peke yangu, niko na mtaalamu wa midfield, alikuwa anaitwa midfield specialist, si mwingine ila ni Titus Mulama. Enzi zile alikuwa anajulikana kama Yellowman. Nimekosea Mulama?
Umekosea sana. Kwanza ni Simon na Yellowman hajaje kwa jina langu. Wengi walipigwa mangumi mingi.
Wewe sasa unataka kunianika kwenye TV. Simon Mulama. Mambo vipi Simon?
Kwaje? Fiti kabisa.
Safi sana.
Safi kabisa.
Ni siku kubwa sana Simon katika taifa la Kenya. Unajihisi vipi wakati taifa la Kenya linashuhudia uzinduzi wa moja kati ya wachezaji tajika na makocha waliotia fora sana duniani?
Ni fiti sana, tunafurahia kwamba angalau panakuja baada ya muda mrefu panakuja mtu ambaye anatambulika kwa shughuli ya soka na amecheza viwango vya juu sana, jambo ambalo mataifa mengi ulimwenguni yanafanya, kwamba panakuja mtu ambaye amekuwa kwa michezo kwa muda mrefu, ana tajriba na experience kubwa, ambayo anakuja not only kushare lakini pia also kufunza na wengine kama wachezaji na wakufunzi wengine waweze kujiiga kutoka kwao. Manake najua mwisho wa kuisha lazima kukuwe na kufunzi wa hapa nyumbani ambao watakuwa nainua timu zetu, lakini mpaka tufikie pale inabidi tukue na mahali angalau tunaweza tukakopi, tunaweza tukajifunza.
Kipi ambacho ni kipya cha kusoma? Kwa sababu tumeona makocha wa kigeni wanakuja na bado tunazidi kulalamika. Je, kipindi hiki tunatarajia nini wakati tunamzindua kocha wa haiba ya aina ya McCarthy?
Unajua wachezaji wengi wanaazimia kucheza Europe. Unapocheza Europe wengi wanaazimia kucheza Champions League, azimia kucheza UEFA. Timu yetu ya taifa tunatarajia kucheza World Cup, tunataka kucheza African Cup of Nations, tunataka kuwa consistent kwa haya mashindano. Wakufunzi ni zamani sana, naweza nikikumbuka labda mtu kama Christian Chuku na Bernard Lama, nafikiri ndio wachezaji ambao pengine wakufunzi ambao pengine walikuwa shafika vile viwango. Kwa hivyo ni muda mrefu sana kabla hatujapata coach ambaye ameweza kufika vile viwango, akaleta ile mentality ya competition, na kwa hiyo level aweze kuleta kwa wachezaji wetu. Kwa hivyo nafikiri kwamba jambo mpya na jambo geni kwa wachezaji wetu ni kwamba now we have someone ambaye anajua, ashakuwa pale, anajua inahitajika nini, akili gani inahitajika kwa pale, ambaye atakuwa na share nao sahani moja, atakuwa na share meza moja, atakuwa na safiri na kuweza kuzungumza, kuulizana maswali na angalau kuweza kupata jawabu, tunaweza fika vile viwango. Na yeye anajua, maana yake amekuwa kwa miundo msingi, kwa academy, amekuwa kwa structures nzuri kutoka kwa mdogo mpaka akija, mpaka akicheza, akipata ufanisi ambao amepata, na pia kuingia kwa udadisi na mpaka kocha, anajua what it takes. Na tunajua kwamba anajua. So the excitement ni kwamba panakuja mtu ambaye amekuwa kwa shughuli na bila shaka kila mmoja anatarajia kuweza kujifunza.
Bila shaka Simon, umesema kwamba ndio ana hivyo vote ambavyo umevitaja. Ni kipi ambacho sasa kinahitajika? Ndio kocha anapo hivyo vitu ambavyo umevitaja. Vipi ambavyo ni vitu ambavyo vinahitajika sasa kwa wachezaji?
Kwa mchezaji inategemea na umri. Kwa wachezaji wadogo wanahitajika kuoneshwa mwelekeo. Ni njia gani kwanza, ukiwa umri fulani unastahili kuwa na skill ama teknika aina gani. Kwa wachezaji wa timu kubwa Harambee Stars kinachohitajika ni mentality aina gani, discipline aina gani inahitajika. Unafaa kupumzika, unahitajika kutulia, unafaa discipline aina gani inaweza kufikisha vile viwango ambavyo tunataka. Maana utapata kwamba uwezo upo, the talent is there, lakini wakati mwingine sasa ni stage kubwa, pengine ni mechi ambayo mnahitaji mshinde ili muweze kufuzu, calmness fulani inakosa, tunakosa kufuzu. Pengine tunapoteza mechi kwa goli moja au magoli mawili, nafasi unapoteza ambapo uko mbele ya lango, unaona. Kwa hivyo ni calmness na utulivu na confidence aina fulani ambayo tunahitaji sasa kutoka kwa coach, aweze kuweka kwa wachezaji ili timu yetu iweze kufika kwa hatua next ambayo hatujafika. Tumeenda African Cup of Nations ndio, lakini we are not consistent kwa mashindano. Mara ya mwisho tumeenda mwaka 2019, okay, na kabla hapo bado ilikuwa ni muda mrefu. So tunahitaji coach ambaye atatuweka confidence kwamba consistently tuko pale, na pia inshallah Mungu akiwezesha tujipate katika World Cup. Manake hatujaifanya, lakini ikiwa tumeweza kwenda kwa African Cup of Nations, both girls tumeenda World Cup pia, wasichana pia wamekwenda, mbona tusijipate kwa World Cup? Inawezekana.
Expectations mingi sana kishuka kocha Benny McCarthy. Mafans utawaambia nini? Pia wao na expectations hiyo.
Matarajio ni makubwa, matarajio ni mengi. Ni jambo tu ambalo pia lazima mashabiki wajue kwamba ndio kila mmoja anaelewa na anafahamu kwamba matarajio ni makubwa, matarajio ni mengi. Mashabiki kama jambo lingine lolote lile waweze kuwa patient, wampe subra na wampe nafasi, mazingira mazuri ya kuweza kufanya kazi ili aweze kuwa na ufanisi, na ufanisi wake ni ufanisi wa nchi yetu ya Kenya. Safi sana mzee.
Shukrani sana Simon Mulama hapo. Nimeshukuru sana Simon Mulama. Na hapa pia nina mmoja kati ya wachezaji waliofanya vizuri, walicheza katika timu ya taifa Harambee Stars, si mwingine ila ni Taiwo. Karibu tena sana. Mambo vipi?
Okay.
Ulijua Kiswahili?
Kidogo.
So tunaongea Kiswahili leo.
I understand but I can't speak.
Welcome. Taiwo.
Yes.
What is your feeling now that Kenya is unveiling? Naambiwa wanaingia Taiwo, wanaingia, lakini tutazungumza, wanaingia wale wageni mashuhuri, wageni watarajiwa watakuwa wanaingia katika ukumbi wa Serena hapa Frangipani Ballroom, ambapo ndo rasmi ni tunaanza mikakati ya kuweza kuwakaribisha. Huyo ni President, FKF President Bwana Hussein, akifuata na Beldin hapo, kocha wa timu ya taifa ya kinadada waliocheza na Tunisia hivi majuzi na wakaweza kufuzu kuwapiga goli 1-0. Tutakuwa tunaanza rasmi shamra hizi za uzinduzi wa kocha mpya wa timu ya taifa Harambee Stars. Wakiingia wageni atakuwa anawakaribisha rais wa shirikisho la soka nchini, si mwingine ila ni Bwana Hussein Mohamed, na wanazidi kuingia hapa waheshimiwa wageni waalikwa. Kama unavyoona hapo kuna viongozi wa tabaka mbalimbali, Bwana Omar.
How are you? Looking forward. Asante sana.
Tunajaribu kusema na wao mawili machache kuhusiana na yale ambayo yatakuwa yanafanyika hapa. Bwana Tergat.
Mzuri sana.
Unajihisi vipi dakika moja tu?
Hii ni furaha kubwa leo. Tumekuja ku unveil the new coach for FKF, and especially for as a nation. As always, we are very excited, and we have a mad followers also of football, and I think leveraging with this now, we will go to another level. Thank you very much.
Shukrani sana. Kama unavyoona hapo ni wageni mashuhuri ambao wamealikwa hapa maksudi kuweza kushuhudia siku hii kubwa, siku ya FKF, ambapo ni Benny McCarthy ambaye ni mmoja kati ya wachezaji tajika waliweza kufanya vizuri sana katika tasnia ya soka. Aliweza kucheza katika ngazi za juu, aliweza kucheza katika hali ngazi za juu, akafanya ukufunzi katika ngazi za juu, lakini kwa sasa twende kule ndani tushuhudie yale ambayo yanafanyika kule ndani.
Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
To start us off, please stand up for the national anthem of Kenya. Thank you. You can all kindly take your seats.
East African.
Karibuni, everybody, for a very special occasion today. We'd like to welcome all the honorable and invited guests here today. Arocho.
Yep.
My name is Carol Radul. What's yours?
My name is Fred Arocho.
One of them.
Fred, and the one and the only Fred Arocho.
The one and the only Fred Arocho. Today we're going to unveil a very important man who will be a very important man for this country and, of course, for the future of Kenyan football. Last year, Arocho, we did something so smart. We put a team in office that is going to give Kenyan football a fresh start.
Well, that's true, a fresh start indeed. And I believe that today we are going to start another journey, a fresh start as far as the technical bench of the national team is concerned.
Exactly. I know Harambee Stars has had a couple of challenging years. We have had some good coaches, one of them is here on stage, who has actually excelled with this team, taken us to heights that we only dreamed of. But I think we all agree that Harambee Stars can still go to even greater heights. And that is what we want to begin today.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, as Caro has ably put it, we are starting a new journey. And I believe that when you start a new journey, you have to be optimistic. I'm very optimistic. Caro, are you optimistic?
I'm extremely optimistic.
That is the way.
I'd like to introduce people who are on stage. I have to use real names. Modo. All right, Anthony Kimani. Beldine, you all know her. Francis Kimanzi, does he need an introduction? Arocho, you can do this side.
Well, on this other side, on the far left, is the president of Football Kenya Federation. Karibu sana, president. And in the middle is the MD of Odibets, Dedan Mungai. Karibu sana. And on the far right is the legend, the guy who, after doing what he did in the pitch, is now doing it elsewhere. Karibu sana, McDonald Mariga.
And we have very many distinguished guests in the crowd. I'm not going to name any because I will leave somebody out and then it will become a domain. So I hope you're here to have a good time and you're also here to think very positively. Please be on your best behavior today. I've promised to be on mine. Arocho, how old are you?
Well, I won't say about my age.
Don't say because I know I'm older than you. I'm old enough to remember the years when Benny McCarthy played football. Are you?
Yes, I saw McCarthy, though I'm not going to really go deeper into that, but there's a moment that Benny really impressed me when he scored against a team that he supports.
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. We will begin a conversation a bit later on Benny McCarthy, the head coach and the manager. But first, we would like to introduce you to Benny McCarthy, the player.
I didn't know anything else. I grew up in Cape Town, very beautiful city, but I didn't know anything else outside Cape Town. And also because the situation in South Africa was not very pleasant. It was just right after the apartheid, so things were a bit difficult. And yeah, if you become a footballer and you are half talented and you make it, and then you can make a good success story for yourself, and you can give your family a great life, a good future. And that's why I became a footballer.
In 1997, McCarthy's performances for South Africa's under-20 side caught the attention of scouts from a European club renowned for its youth policy.
At the time, it felt right for me to go to Ajax and not to anywhere else, because Ajax won the Champions League and they had Patrick Kluivert, Edgar Davids, Clarence Seedorf, Michael Reisiger. They had a lot of young players,
Ended with McCarthy heading to France to be part of South Africa's first ever appearance at the FIFA World Cup.
I never think I would ever play in a World Cup. It was an incredible moment, and then you play in your first match in a World Cup, the biggest stage in football history. So yeah, for me it was special.
South Africa wouldn't qualify from their group, but their second game would last long in the memory of their young striker.
Against Denmark, Peter Schmeichel, yeah, very special because it was the first goal ever scored by South Africa in a World Cup, and yeah, it was me, so it was encima del mundo. I was on top of the world.
4 years later, McCarthy was in Japan and Korea for South Africa's second FIFA World Cup appearance. After 4 points from 2 games, progress to the last 16 was a real possibility. going into their final match with Spain.
What happened was Raul Gonzalez, he killed South Africa. He scored 2 goals, and Gaika Mendieta scored free kick. So we lost 3-2 to Spain. And we only have to play for a draw to go through together with Spain. But then we lose, and then Paraguay beat Slovenia, and Paraguay went through second, and we out.
International disappointment. But a permanent move to Portugal in 2003 would prove to be a turning point in McCarthy's career.
Porto will have a big spot in my heart because it was my most successful period as a football player. I was individually, I achieved a lot of things.
Following 3 successful seasons and a UEFA Champions League winners' medal, McCarthy headed to the English Premier League.
England was a very tough, you know. Blackburn, they're a great club. I had a fantastic time in Blackburn. And I learned a lot and enjoyed the Premier League. So yeah, it was good. It is special when you get selected for your country. I feel very privileged and honored that I can still be the top goal scorer for my country.
After finishing his playing career in South Africa with Orlando Pirates, McCarthy is taking his first steps towards management.
I love football. I think I can't not be involved in football. So for me, it was a good opportunity, you know. Like I feel like I have to give back, you know. I have to teach young players how to become better, how to be good, and yeah, maybe become like how Mourinho became when he was at Porto. A young, sensational manager, and then go on to become very special.
All right, that was Benny McCarthy, the player, and I know, yeah. He won the Champions League, Arocho. He won the Champions League. So did another friend of ours here, and we'll get to that shortly. But we're going to begin the Q&A session. And I know a lot of people say being a good footballer doesn't necessarily make you a great coach. Yeah. But later on, we will talk about Benny, the coach. But right now, I want us to talk a bit about player development before we get into coaching. And I'll open the session with the president of Football Kenya Federation, Hussein Mohammed. Hussein, when you see that level of talent that Benny McCarthy has, we know that Kenya can produce that kind of talent, has in some instances. Maybe it's just been the opportunity to get to the next level. How important do you think it is for us to continue to develop talent to feed into the national team?
Thank you very much, Carol. Thank you very much.
Arocho, if you can just hand him your mic while we sort out the microphones.
Thank you, Carol. Thank you, Arocho. All dignitaries here, all protocols observed. Karibuni sana to this particular session and event. On behalf of the Federation, I want to welcome you all and feel at home. So, Carol, to answer your question, I think it's critical that we have a supply of talent right from the grassroots and at the youth level especially to the national teams. But what happens to that talent when they get to the senior team? And I think it is critical. It is important that we create the right foundation for this, for our youth. But how that talent is nurtured and developed and managed over time is what has been the missing link in my view. So today presents a very special opportunity, not only for the Football Federation, but for the country at large. This is an opportunity for us to be able now to go back to the drawing board, to start afresh, and have a strategy over the next 5 to 15 years on where we want to see our country. So it's exciting in so many ways. We have an African coach, which is critical. I know many people have been asking, don't we have enough local coaches? And the question will come up, not to preempt it, but It's been the question I've been getting over the last couple of weeks and months. That can't we develop our own coaches? Yes, we can. We do have good coaches, but you've seen the level at which McCarthy has played. You've seen his credentials with Manchester United, with Amazulu, with Cape Town, and so on. So we have a good coach on our hands, and I think this is what the country needs. This is what we need as a foundation for our football. And the young people of this country, I know, are quite excited to have McCarthy on board.
We will get into the coaching. We'll get into the coaching. We were hoping to have a representative from the sports ministry here because I had a question about the Kenya Academy of Sports, but I'm sure you will work in tandem with them to develop players to the highest level.
Well, Mr. President, you've talked about nurturing of talent. It is an expensive venture. This question goes to Odibet, the general manager. We've seen Odibet as a brand for the last 2 or 3 years, moving around this country, trying to make sure that the very thing that Karo and Hussein Mohammed have just talked about is happening. Take us through the trip or the journey that the brand Odibet has been doing in this country.
I think also, again, I'll ride on the protocols that have already been observed. As Odibets and as a bookmaker in this country, we were committed from the day that we launched to growing talent in all significant areas, not just sports only. However, we're usually told, you know, where your passion meets your profit, that's where your purpose is. And for us, soccer is a real passion, both as a brand and as individuals. So we have the passion to develop and to support sports in this country. And right from when we started, when we were quite small, and the first thing we could only do was sponsor one club. We started from that point, sponsoring Madare, and then we continued. We worked together with the federation, started sponsoring roots soccer at the roots level. We went up all the way, and we've maintained being the motivational partner of FKF, which we said will not drop. We'll continue supporting, you know, the team best we can. The reason for that is we know once we remove the financial burden to a larger extent, we're able to leave the president and his deputy to concentrate on the tactical part of the team. So in working together, we alleviate the stress of thinking where the finance is coming from the best we can. And the president is able to get quality coaches, as we can see today, which is evident, and which is a very big bragging point, I think, for the federation and as well the country at large.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. And just so everybody knows, so nobody's saying, why is FKF spending all this money for having a fancy launch? Actually, thank you to Odibet for coming forward and saying, you know what, we're going to cover that cost. So thank you very much for that. Mr. Mariga Abariako, Vice President, FKF. Now, Mariga and Benny McCarthy have a lot in common. They've won the UEFA Champions League. But you've also won the UEFA Champions League under the same coach, Jose Mourinho. So when your boss was looking for Benny, did you call Mourinho and say, hey, niko na namba ya Mourinho, uko na namba ya Benny? Is that how it happened?
No. Actually, after coach, we had a number of coaches, and we decided who is the best to fit in Harambee Stars. And we end up looking for someone who has experience in Europe, someone who has African, he knows African football. So if we join together, he'll take our great country forward.
Actually, my question for you, Mariga, is how important is it to have the highest of skills to be successful as a coach? Because Kenya we are booming with talent. We're booming with talent. Most of it, though, is quite raw.
Yeah.
We've only had, I think, how many Kenyans have played in Premier League?
One.
Your brother?
Yes.
Why not? And it's not like we lack the talent. We have the talent. So in your experience, what do we need to do to develop players to that level so that they can also win the Champions League?
First of all, we have a lot of competitive leagues. We are in France. Denis Olech played in France, top league. I played in Italy. I played in Spain. So I think We have a lot of talents, but it's just to tap into those talents, because if you compare me with McCarthy, maybe I'll say he's the coach, but now I'm the vice president, so we can cut that off. The second thing, McCarthy played in Africa Cup. He was top scorer. I haven't participated in Africa Cup. He played in World Cup. Kenya never played in World Cup. And now, you know, the rest of the thing, he won Champions League. I won Champions League. He won Club World Cup. I won Club World Cup. So I think we're in a good track. I think he's the one to get more players to go and play out there so that we can participate in World Cup and Africa Cup.
I feel like coming to give you a high five.
Well, I think, Caro, we've covered so extensively the administrative part and, of course, the partners who bring in the cash. And I'd like to move into the technical part. Francis Kimanzi, you're one of the coaches that is, if I may use the word, celebrated, in the sense that the highest position that we've had as a country as far as soccer is concerned was under your tenure. What does this mean, bringing in a new coach with a European touch and some African flair?
Thank you very much, Arocho, and I'm very, very happy today. At least I'm seated here because I've been in this journey, the football journey. So first of all, I must thank everyone today and myself also for being here. And it's a very special moment for me. And just to answer your question, I think football is a very evolving sport. And for me, seated and sharing the platform today and discussing about the future of our game in a journey that I've been very much and deeply involved, I'm very happy, because if the game is very evolving, that means the cultural exchange is very important sometimes. And you stay in a house, sometimes you need somebody who is also coming from outside and see, because football is the same, just like our DP mentioned here about the achievements in Europe and the achievements in Africa, and for the football players, for instance. But that means the what, which is the objective about what we play, is clearly the same. But it is the how that maybe sometimes we don't get it right because of the situations behind home. I'm very sure, and I'm happy that at least we have also some different eyes with different experience for the same game. So we are expecting to see you and share a lot, and also for the benefit of the local trainers who are, I'm pretty sure we are very much behind, you know, the whole idea and the progress of what we want. So it is about the how we have been doing it, and the how again Benny want to help us to do it. So we are very, very motivated, very encouraged, and we also want to wish him a lot of luck, in the journey.
All right, before we get into Benny the coach, I just have a question for Anthony Kimani. Anthony, you've played for Harambee Stars, Mathare United, the list is endless. You were at Ingwe at some point? Yes. You were one of the best players I've ever watched in the Kenyan Premier League, and of course, but you did not manage to break into Europe, even though in our eyes, you had the raw talent to do that, to play in one of the biggest leagues in the world, as we develop ours as well, to be amongst them. What do you think was missing for you to take you to that next level?
Thank you very much for your question, Carol.
Sorry, we're having a little bit of a sound problem.
Thank you very much for your question, Carol, and I'd like to ride on the protocols that have already been observed. I think the main challenge that we had back then, first of all, was lack of exposure. A lot of us had not been exposed enough to package ourselves in a manner that would probably attract scouts from outside. Opportunities here were also very, very, very scarce, in terms of networking with people that would help you to cross that bridge and get over to the other side. But I think all that has changed now. I think our players right now have got an opportunity probably to get agents that can hook them up with the different teams that our players have been going to. We've seen a lot of our players going to Sweden. We've seen a lot of our players going to Zambia, to Scandinavian countries, and to other bigger leagues as well. Just the other day, I was looking at the number of women footballers that we have that are applying their trade outside our country, and it's quite huge. So I think a lot has changed in terms of giving our players exposure, in terms of having the right agents, to connect our players out there. And I'm pretty sure with the foundation that we are laying here today by bringing in Benny McCarthy is going to open up even more opportunities for our players in the coming years. Thank you.
Well, what you've talked about the ladies' game, and at this juncture, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like us to appreciate a very special lady in this. I'm not done. A very special lady. Historic moment in Tunis. Beldin Odemba. Please, let's clap for this lady. Well, it was a historic win, and I believe now this goes to you, Odemba. I believe that, and I've been saying it before you even played in the World Cup under 17. If there is a team that will, with all due respect to the men, if there's a team that is going to participate in the World Cup for the very first time, is the ladies' team. Am I right?
Yeah, you've said that severally.
Yes. Am I right?
Yeah, you are right.
Please expound. Do you think that this moment is going to help even the ladies' side?
Oh yeah. First of all, it's the goodwill. The goodwill to see that football prospers in this country. It's never about men or women football. There's nothing like that. It's always football. So if there's will to empower the men national team, then it means that there's a bigger will to empower the women national team. And we are looking forward also to see the best.
Thank you very much, Beldin. Now, at this moment, I'd like to introduce to you, if you put your eyes on the screen, to Benny McCarthy, the coach.
I've had an amazing response from the players, the positivity within the group. I just see the difference in the mentality already, the way we approach the training session, the way we up the tempo to play a little bit quicker, and everyone wants to impress. So that's always good. I've enjoyed my first couple of days with the team. I can't wait. Sunday can't come any quicker because the longer it takes, the more nervous I get. So I just want to get this one over and done with. My thoughts on about the game and the 3 points. I think it's very possible, So far, we've got quality players. And I think just the right direction, if they push into the right direction, positivity, the brand of football that I want to play, and the joy that I want to bring to their faces. When you step onto a football field, people shouldn't be angry or nervous or sad. Football is a game of joy, so I want to bring that back to the players, They must play with smiles on their faces, and I think Sunday is the perfect opportunity for that to happen. And I'm looking forward just to see what the players can bring from the short time that we've been together and what we can achieve. Getting 3 points, moving up the table.
I think he's done a good job, Obviously it can be tough with getting a full group of new coaches, but everyone's settled in really quickly, and, it's always good for the forwards to have, a particular coach that concentrates on us as a forward group. And yeah, I feel like since Benny's come in, we've worked more as a team going forward, which has led to us creating more chances and to us scoring more goals. So, it's still early days, and Benny would tell you himself his aspirations are much bigger than what we've done so far. But he keeps pushing us, keeps trying to get us to improve, and yeah, you can't ask for anything more than that as a player. Yeah, his relationship with me is very good. We speak a lot, and we're always analysing the games as well and showing me ways to improve, and small things that can help me get more chances, more goals, and maybe create space for other players as well. So yeah, we're doing a lot of work.
An endorsement from Marcus Rashford, of course, during Benny McCarthy's last stint as a coach. That was at Manchester United up until mid last year. But it was at Amazulu, Arocho, where I think he really impressed.
Well, the stats at Amazulu speaks volume, because when Benny joined Amazulu, the team was struggling. He did so well. The team was second in the Premier League, and subsequently the team played in the Champions League group stage. So I believe if it's about proven record, the gentleman Benny McCarthy has some very good proven record.
All right, we are going to have a bit of a Q&A session just for a few minutes before we unveil the new head coach. FKF President Hussein Mohammed, I know Mariga touched on it and Kimanzi also touched on it. Why Benny McCarthy? I'm asking you now, Hussein.
I think just to get straight to the point, he has the fire in the belly. He's one of those players and now one of those coaches that really has something to prove, and he's shown from his passion, from the interactions we've had with him when we were talking to the different coaches during this process, because we talked quite a number. And Benny came across as an individual who really had the passion for it. I mean, he's as Kenyan as it can get. He's African. He understands our culture. Our culture and South African culture is not very different. He's a Pan-Africanist, and we looked around and said, I mean, his characteristics or his individuality also fits the bill. And we felt strongly as a federation that given the opportunity, given his exposure, given his track record, with support from the federation, he will go all the way. And we believe that he has what it takes to deliver for this country.
I know, and I had so many questions for the government. Let me ask you this question, Hussein, since the government are not here. In terms of support, we know what has been the problem in the past. It wasn't your administration, so it's not on you. But I remember posting the other day that Benny McCarthy is coming, and the first tweet was, after 3 months, he'll say his salary hasn't been paid. Do we have those things covered?
The responsibility of the national teams, of course, lies with the government across the world. It's not unique to Kenya. Governments usually cater for the bill or take care of the bill when it comes to facilitating the national teams, both men and women, and also for the youth teams. So it's not any different here. I know we've got a little bit of history on this issue, but there's a government representative here, I think, who's just come. Yes. But we are confident that we've gotten the right commitments from our government. I'm very, or let's say I'm reassured that we will not be dealing with the same situation or the problems that we've had in the past. We are working very, very well with the current government. We are working very well with the cabinet secretary. They are all aligned on this recruitment. The PS has been very supportive all along. And I know that we will not have this challenge in the future. Moving on.
It's a fresh start, eh?
Absolutely.
Well, just to elaborate a point, Mr. Indakwa, we'd like to recognize your presence, a government representative. So that one is that's covered now.
I want to ask this question to Francis Kimanzi, who has had several stints with the national team Harambee Stars. We believed in you so much, Kimanzi. I believe in you still so much. But I am sure there are challenges that you faced. What kind of support do you wish you had got to get Kenya to a World Cup? Because I think it's a very small... It's not that big an issue for us to get to the next level, but when you were coach from your experience, and I know you've done really well as an interim coach with the national team in regards to the CHAN matches, what additional support did you need?
Well, Carol, thank you. It's a very technical question.
And there's only like a minute, so you don't have to give so many details.
Yes, but... What you really need, and is what that maybe if we had that time would have really managed it. It's that continuous support is very important, especially making sure that you don't skip any FIFA window without a meaningful preparation and a test match, to say so. If we had those opportunities, I think Mark here with this generation, they would have also had an opportunity to be in the World Cup for sure. So it's about how important are we ready to utilize our FIFA window, which is already standardized, by FIFA. So if we invest well in that period, it's key to get our players, to cover the gap that Anthony Kemani mentioned, also Mariga mentioned that that platform for exposure, it can only be built within the FIFA windows. More meaningful friendlies.
All right, thank you very much. Now, it's almost time for us to unveil the new head coach. But he hasn't come alone, Arocho. The new head coach has not come alone. He has beefed up his technical team.
Wow. A gentleman I've been watching for some time now in the national team, in Bafana in the goal, and done so well at Amazulu. Let's please appreciate and welcome Monib Joseph. Let's appreciate Joseph kindly. Just wave to the crowd. Wave to the crowd. Well, I won't say the team that I support down there. I'm sure that one will not go well with you. But we appreciate you and welcome. And that means that our coach is not just coming alone. He'll be with Mr. Joseph Monib.
And of course, he'll have a lot of support here at home with other coaches as well. And we'll get into that conversation. But right now, guys, it is time for us to meet the man who's going to give us a fresh start for Harambee Stars. Arocho, I can confidently say that because of this new head coach, I am a pirate when it comes to South African football. Sorry about that. So I would like us to please stand up so that we can welcome and give him a good Kenyan welcome. Ladies and gentlemen, allow me to introduce and unveil to you the new national team head coach for Harambee Stars, Benny McCarthy!
Chibombo. Peace.
Benny, if you can join me here on stage, FKF President Hussein Mohammed, if you can join me here as well. Now, the contract has already been signed, but we need the proof. We need the proof that the contract has been signed. And those of you who have questions, by the way, get them ready. Arocha will be going around with his roving mic. The contracts are here. Thank you to these lovely ladies. Hussein, this is yours. Benny, this is yours. If you can hold up the contract and show everybody that it has been signed. Don't zoom in and screenshot. Wait, don't zoom in and screenshot. I know your manners. So the contract has been signed. Thank you very much. You will exchange them. So everybody has a copy. All right, congratulations. Thank you very much. Thank you, Hussein. Thank you, ladies. Benny, you can now take your seats. Over here. Whoa! All right, I am excited. I hope you're excited. I'm going to kick off this Q&A session. Arocha, as I said, is going around with a roving mic if you have any questions for Benny. Those of you who are here on the stage, you're also allowed to ask questions, and you can ask them questions as well. Benny, first of all, how are you doing?
Good afternoon, everyone. I would just like to say that it's been an absolute privilege and a pleasure for me to be here in Kenya and to be surrounded with all great people in here, because I'm delighted, and I really can't wait to start our new journey, making Kenya again one of the powerhouses in African football.
You heard that. By the way, when I was talking to an FKF official, I won't say who and I won't say when, he said Benny McCarthy looked at this team and said, you know what, I can take these guys to the World Cup. True or false?
How can I not? The undiscovered talent that they are, the names that you see, and just the potential that this Kenyan national team have, and you look at other national teams, how well they're doing with half the talent that is here in Kenya. So with the right leaders in charge, with the right coaches, with the right mentality and the right mindset and the right work ethic, we can get this team to greater heights. And I heard a question earlier about the women's team might be the first team, Kenyan team, to represent the country in the World Cup. I think it will be both teams, the women and the men.
Or on that note, will you be exchanging notes? Will you two be exchanging notes, Beldine? You'll be exchanging notes? Huh? Could we have these mics on as well, please?
We will definitely do so, because I think with the success that the woman is having, it's only fair for me as a coach
to learn from her,
to try and get all the information that she has, so that I can put it into practice with the men's team.
Now, Benny, I want to talk freely. I know a lot of people are saying, oh, maybe he's not as experienced as we think. Tell us about your coaching experience. For those who don't know, because many people just know Benny McCarthy played for Blackburn, won Champions League with Porto. Benny, the coach?
Well, so after I retired from football in 2013, then I took it upon myself to go and educate myself, even though that I played the game at the highest level, but to become a coach, to become remotely knowing how players work, I needed to have education also. So I decided to go and start to do my coaching badges. So it took me 5.5 of my years after playing football to go my level A's, UEFA C, UEFA B, UEFA A, and UEFA Pro license, which 5.5 years. Till today, I can't believe that I put myself 5.5 years to do that. But now when I'm sitting here being announced the national team coach for Kenya, I think it was money and education well spent. So,
okay, yes it was.
So that's what I did. And while doing my coaching badges, I also learned at other teams. I was first team coach, worked very close with the coach from Celtic at the time when Victor Wanyama and Virgil van Dijk from Liverpool was players at Celtic FC in Scotland. So I worked for 6 months with the first team coach, and just to learn what it is to become a coach and to shadow a successful coach. And then I had another 6 months stint at Hibernians, the opposition team, because it's a club in my city. And then I became an assistant coach in Belgium for 1 year at Sint-Truiden. And our aim was to newly promoted team, to help them from not getting relegated, because they were the biggest favorite team to get relegated straight away. And we managed to help the team to stay in the top position, and we finished number 8. And everybody said that 100% that we will get relegated. So we were young coaching staff. So I think I've gathered some experience working under top coaches that play the game. And then I got an opportunity to go to South Africa to coach Cape Town City and become the head coach myself. So, which that experience was very well. I learned a lot. I made a lot of mistakes, but it made me a better coach from the mistakes that I've made and the things that I didn't do well. And then AmaZulu then became another step where I think I excelled as a coach, because I've learned from all the mistakes that I've made in Cape Town City as a young new coach. So I took that experience and we went on to achieve what the club has never ever achieved, being in the relegation position, and then with with only the second half of the league to go, win 15 matches or 17 matches, where you win 14 out of 17 matches in the top flight for young coaches. So I think that was very impressive, and we finished second, and for the first time made the team qualify for the Champions League. So then, yeah, I thought my experience there was very well, but now I needed to move on to bigger and better things. And that's when Manchester United came, and I was asked to go and coach at Manchester United. So it was 2 years of my life where the best experience for an African that you can achieve is to play for one of the most iconic and recognized football teams in the world. So yeah, I think with all that experience that I've achieved, for me now to be here at Kenya, I think now I want to take all that experience and just put it into practice and make this Kenyan national team a success.
Now, I'm sure you've heard about the challenges of Kenyan football. Good news, of course, not under this administration. But anyone who dares to come into this country to coach the national team is either very brave, I won't say or the other one, but what was it about Hussein Mohammed and McDonald Mariga that convinced you to come to Kenya?
Transparency. They were a new regime that was very transparent, was honest and open. If there's difficulties, that is the difficulties that you had. And in Africa, as a South African, that I dealt with the South African national team and playing in South Africa, that's always been Africa's biggest challenge, where there's no transparency. People say everything is okay. Then when you come there, nothing is okay. Nothing is as they say it is. So I grew up my life growing up in Africa, so I'm accustomed to that, you know. But then I got educated in Europe through football, so for many years I've learned the European way and that. But deep down inside, I know very much how Africa functions, but I also learned how to do the right things to make African better, because I did it as I succeeded. So now I want to come back and I want to just make sure that these players understand, and the people, African people understand, through hard work and dedication and pursuing what you want, anything is possible. And I think that was what the president and the deputy president assured me, that, you know, we're not going to tell you that everything is going to be roses, because it's not. And that I accept, and I want to help them also with the challenge, but I want to make the football team the best football team that the East Africa has seen. Because I strongly believe if we can fix the football team, the Football Federation will also prosper.
Thank you very much. Now, I know Arocho is going around with a roving mic. I just have one more question before Arocho can take a question from the crowd. I saw you on Twitter the other day. Is it X? Sorry, it's X, my youth. I had posted that it's official, Benny McCarthy is coming, and then Kenyans and their passion, let me call it passion. But if I was you reading those comments, I would have got on a plane and left the country. But I think it's just that Kenyans are passionate and we really want to see a difference in this country. But you were so gracious in your responses. You were basically telling the fans, all I need is your support. All I need is your support. So I hope you can be able to block the noise, because there will be noise until we begin to see results. It's just the nature of fans worldwide.
It's about fueling the noise. You know, sometimes what you hear, and for me it's about, if you see the passion in people's faces, that means that they really love their country. And so far the national team hasn't produced what people expected from them. So I can understand their pain and where the passion comes from and the negativity. But we, like I said, the way we want to work and the way we want to change this, that we're going to put the negativity into positivity. And this national team, I think people are really going to be surprised of what we can achieve, because I think we've got a very experienced coach there, and I think with his help and the team that I'm bringing, I don't think there's nothing that can stop us from succeeding with this Kenyan national team.
All right, thank you very much. Aracho, I can't see you. You know, it's dark out there, and then you're...
Hello, Coach.
It's so light.
Coach Benny, hi. You look very good in a Kenyan tracksuit. My name is Alan Zuki from TV47. And of course, I know when you're discussing your contract with Hussein and the rest of the people, you probably add short-term goals and future goals. So I'm curious to hear about them, especially in the FIFA World Cup qualifiers. We're still in fourth position with 5 points, 5 points behind the group leaders, Cote d'Ivoire. And also, I want to know your targets with the African Nation Championships, because it has been hosted here, and just like Caro told you, we're a bit toxic. We like winning, especially here at home. So I would like to hear about your targets kindly.
Thank you for your question. I think the first question was?
About basically your KPIs. We're going into a session of qualifications. I believe we have a match in 2 weeks.
Yes, so I think for me it's not about where the team is at. There's so many matches left to play. They've only played 4 qualifying matches. They are 4th in the group, and we are not very far behind Ivory Coast, who is in top position, and then Gabon, who is just behind Ivory Coast, and then Burundi, who is at number 3. But like I said, you have 2 games where we can really try and change the players' mindset to prepare ourselves well. But if you can have positive results, and like I said, for me, I think it is possible that with the players that the national team have, you win 2 games, you collect 6 points, which takes you to 11 points, and then you know you are very close to the top. So I have not given up hope that this campaign can still be successful, even though it looks like it is impossible to qualify, but nothing is impossible. You know, we're going to make it work, and we're going to work extremely hard with the players and the technical staff that we can be a success. And come the end of the World Cup campaign, hopefully we'll be close enough to beat Ivory Coast to number 1, or to finish in a top 2 position where you play playoff qualification still to qualify for the World Cup. But we are very hopeful, and we are very positive that we can achieve that.
I think what he also asked, and this I think is contractually, are there any clear KPIs, like we must get X amount of wins in the remaining qualifiers, and what are the targets? He also asked for Chan, which we are hosting, which Kimanzi has so ably been taking charge.
No, I think we want to win every point that's available to us. We will work hard. I'm not saying it's easy, but it's also not impossible, you know, to win, because the quality of the players that we have to have a positive mindset, because if we start thinking that we can't beat Ivory Coast or this problem, no. We have to be really positive, and the players must see that the coaches that they're bringing in are winners, that they want to win every game, and that will only help the players push so that we can win. We can try and win every point that's available to us. And then for the Chan and the African Nations Cup qualifications, the tournament is in Kenya, and we want to showcase. We want to make a good account of ourselves, so we will do very well. Not to be failures, but we want to make Kenyan people proud of being the host country of the Chan and then the African Nations Cup, but that they see the national team also in and amongst the latter stages in the semi-final, on the final of the African Nations Cup and the Chan. That is what we want to achieve, but with hard work it can be possible.
All right, thank you. Before the next question, I just want to give a follow-up question to Hussein or Mohammed. He's been smiling all through. Hussein, I know we can be very impatient as fans. I'm a fan of football first, before anything else. We can be very impatient. Realistically, what are our targets for the remaining matches in World Cup, AFCON qualifiers, and for Chan? realistically, what are our targets?
You know, of course, we have to have short-term, mid-term, and long-term plans.
Yes.
And eventually, if you invest in football today, you'll see results a couple of years down the road. Naturally, we must put a lot of effort into the youth teams as well for us to see the long-term development plans mature and grow, and for us to succeed and sustain that the performance at that level, so that we can be competitive, but also be able to top, or rather be the super powerhouse that we used to be back in the day. However, let me give you a very good example, and which was in the recent, just recently that happened in the recent past with the women's team. When we went to camp with the team, many Kenyans, of course on social media, and understandably so after the 0-0 result, didn't really believe that we would be able to beat Tunisia away at home, in their home. And I think we had a long discussion with the team and the technical bench. And we assured the technical bench as a federation that there will be zero interference in the technical bench, that they will get all the support that they need, that the girls will go in comfort, that the girls will stay in a 5-star hotel, and they will be treated well. And the decision will lie with the technical bench on how they will deliver this win. And they did it. You know, with all the odds. And I don't want to say that that was the only ingredient that it required, but we assured the girls and we assured the technical bench with and the coach that the federation is committed, and we will put everything in place to make sure they succeed. Together, of course, with the government of Kenya, we were able to give the girls a very good send-off. We were able to incentivize them, so they got something before they left, which they could live with their family, behind with their families, and the environment was conducive. It was just right for them to be able to give their optimum performance, and which they did, and they came home with a win. The same thing applies for Harambee Stars. And today, in front of this audience and in front of all Kenyans, I want to give the same commitment that we will not, as a federation, interfere with the technical bench of the Harambee Stars. Nobody in my team will call Benny, will call anybody in the bench to force a player down their throat or to dictate how the coaching will be done. They will be completely independent. And that is why in our agreement and our contract, it's not more on what we qualify for today. It's more on a performance reward system that rewards the technical bench with every successful performance and every qualification. We understand it's a journey, and it starts from somewhere. So I just want to take this opportunity to urge all Kenyans, please be patient. Be patient with us. The federation will do its job. We have the support from government, we have support from FIFA, we have support now from sponsors who are coming on board, slowly but surely. You've seen today Odibet is here with us. Tomorrow there's other partners who are willing to come on. Be patient with us. We believe we've put the most competent, the best technical team, both for the girls and for Harambee Stars.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much. I think after saying Kenyans, after Kenyans, there's also media. Be patient, my fellow scribes. Aracho, do you have another question here?
Hello, Mr. Benny. My name is Simon Mulama. I'm glad to be in your presence today and welcome to Kenya. I'm honored that I had an opportunity to watch you play in the African Cup of Nations in 1998 with Phil Masinga and the rest. And also, I'm a big fan of yours when you're doing your analysis at Supersport. So to some of us, you're not a real stranger. Welcome, feel at home. 2 questions. Number 1, some of the most revered coaches in this country that has come as national team coaches have given an opportunity to young players. Personally, I got to play in the national team at 19, at 20 years. We are not too far. I think we are months apart at your age. And some of the most revered coaches, Reinhard Fabisch, Ghost Muley, Francis Kimanzi with you, they are renowned for giving young guys an opportunity. I'm talking about 21, 20, 19-year-olds, an opportunity at the senior team that have brought a different flair, a different passion on the field, and also some good results. Is that something you're also willing to do as the senior national team coach? Number 1. Number 2, we all know that the future of the country definitely lies in the hands of the youth. Much as you're the head coach of the senior team, how much leeway do you have to at least make sure that we at the grassroots level produce good enough players that can make your work easy at the senior level? Thank you.
Thank you.
So the first question about giving the young players an opportunity. I was very fortunate enough. My career, I thought I was a good player that could make it, but coaches didn't believe in me because I was young. And I only needed one person to believe in me. And one coach gave me an opportunity at 16 years old, and my career took off. So I'm a very, very, very big fan of producing young players, giving young players an opportunity. I think for me, if you're good enough, you're old enough. I don't care if it's a 15-year-old player. If he's good enough and he can handle himself in the men's game, then he should play. I don't see why we should hold young players back. So I'm a coach very open to giving young players an opportunity when they deserve it. And
the second question was about getting involved in the development of the young players, although that's more a question for FKF.
Yeah, no, but I think also with the time that I'm going to be in Kenya, I want to spend a lot of time getting to know the coaches from the National League, because that you have a sort of relationship with coaches, an understanding that they work with the national team coaches, with the Kenyan Federation about the upcoming young players, good players that they have, that we as the national team can look at these players and have small little camps in between, but with their cooperation, with working together. So I think, yeah, there has to be a very good relationship with the national team coaches and the local coaches in the league for this country to prosper, and for the young players to get the grassroots players to get the opportunity that they need to also grow and one day represent Harambee Stars at all national levels. So that is how I want to do things and work with the coaches there.
Can I just ask a question? Because I know as a national team coach, you don't necessarily have to live permanently in this country because your services aren't required around the clock. But I know in the past we had one national team coach who was barely in this country until like 2 days before camp. And yet, because our league games are not necessarily live, it means you physically need to almost scout for yourself at certain times, go for different league matches, whether it's in Kisii, Kisumu, Mombasa. Are you committed? Have you arranged for that?
No, like I said, we're young, and for the past few days we've been driving around, going around Kenya, and I've never felt more at home anywhere in my whole football career than I have been since my arrival in Kenya. And this is not just saying because I'm now the national team coach and I have to say it. I feel like I'm Kenyan, really. The people have been incredible to us. And the climate, at the moment, my family is in the UK and they are suffering. Me, I'm enjoying because the sun is making my skin shimmering. So I'm in my element, so I don't want to leave Kenya in a hurry. So I will be here as long as possible. And I'm also a coach. I like to watch players firsthand, then to watch on a computer, then to get the stats. I'm someone, the naked eye never lies. And if I don't see something for my own experience, then I don't want to take someone's word or what the computer tells me. So that's why I will be in Kenya for as long as possible to try and watch the local matches, to see the local players, and also not just forgetting the international players when I have an opportunity, a window, when speaking with the president and Deputy Mariga, to also visit the players who's playing in Europe so that they also don't feel our only focus is on the local players, but on any player that plays for the national team, we will try and visit those players so that we can just have better relationships. So when the players come here, they come here with a smiley, happy heart, and the results will will be in our favor.
Thank you very much, Benny. I can see that all our ducks are being put in a row, Hussein. And just so you know, I know you met a lot of these guys sitting, especially here in the front row. You met them upstairs. This just shows the level, I think, of commitment that the Kenyans... Paul Tergat is here. Give me a round of applause for Paul Tergat. What? The president of the National Olympic Committee, and his CV is this long and this impressive. We have government officials here, even though they're not in the sports ministry, very supportive of sport and football matters in this country. You came along with a high commissioner from South Africa. He's here to support you as well. Thank you very much. A round of applause for him as well. Thank you so much. And I know people sitting on this podium are people who will support you through your journey. Arocho, do we have any more questions?
Good afternoon, all.
Good afternoon.
2 questions. First to Mr. President Hussein. First, why Benny McCarthy? Maybe you can elaborate about the competitiveness of the appointment and also the duration of the coach and the other technical staff for the new coach. Back to Benny. People back home in South Africa are wondering why you chose Kenya from Manchester United to Nairobi. Why? And as a coach, what do you want to achieve in that period with the national team? Thank you.
A lot of those questions have already been answered.
Yeah. It's answered.
All of them have been answered.
And we've moved on.
Please pay attention.
Good evening.
Good evening.
Good evening. My name is Zita Jimoy from Citizen TV. I just have one question. Just asking the duration of your contract, and then within that duration, what will you have achieved with the duration that you've been given in the contract?
Okay, that's also been partially that's also been partially answered. Maybe I think the part that hasn't is the duration of the contract. I did ask a few times about KPIs, okay, duration. Could we answer that first, Hussein?
Okay, thanks, guys. Thanks for the questions. I think very quickly on the issue of KPIs, we talked about performance reward system as part of our key foundation in terms of the KPIs for the coaches, because it's the entire technical bench. We're not looking at McCarthy as an individual in this process. It's the entire technical bench, and their term is up to AFCON 2027. The duration is up to AFCON 2027.
Was there a second part that hasn't been answered? That's been answered. All right, thank you. Any more questions before we wind up? Arocho, there's a hand.
Well, I think we should get one more because we need to move on to the next session. Let me get a lady.
One here from, okay.
Let me get a lady.
Yes, good afternoon, everyone. Toto Areg is my name from the Nation Media Group. And this question goes to Coach McCarthy. You know, you worked with one of the top clubs in the world. I know Karol Dual will never want to hear this. You worked with one of the best clubs in the world, you know, working at Old Trafford with Eric Ten Hag, you know, the likes of Bruno Fernandes. How was the experience like working at Manchester United? And maybe how many languages can you speak?
I think answer the languages first, because that's very quick, and then your experience at that club at Old Trafford. No, it's an amazing.
Yeah, I speak 5 languages, and it is English and South African, Afrikaans, and I understand a little bit of Zulu. But it's not speaking it. And then all the football clubs that I've played for in the different countries, I've made sure that I try to learn the language so that I can communicate and understand the people, but also feel that I want to know about their culture. So Dutch in Holland. When I moved to Ajax, I learned to speak Dutch. And then when I moved to Spain, La Liga, Celta Vigo, I learned to speak Spanish. And also then when I moved to FC Porto in Portugal, I also learned to speak Portuguese. And I can, if people speak French, I can pick it up. I don't speak it fluent. And also when Mariga speaks Italian, I can pick it up also from all my time. So 5 languages in total and understand 3 others.
And Kiswahili in waiting.
And Swahili, that is my next mission. That is the mission.
There's Kiswahili and there's Sheng. By the way, you learn and then don't stay uptown. Go and live where the Swahili is spoken. Where the football Swahili is spoken. Hussein, I hope there are arrangements to get him a coach. A Kiswahili coach. Huh? Hassan Omar has volunteered. Okay. And then the second question.
The second question, I think, for an African, when you grow up in Africa, there's a handful of teams, but there's one team in particular who the whole continent support, and that's Manchester United. Yes.
Last night they were beaten by Fulham.
Yes. I think in life, no one goes through life without struggle. And unfortunately for us now, is our struggle. But we will succumb and we will get back to the top where we belong.
Next season. But what was your experience there? Because it is a big club. Even me as an Arsenal fan, I acknowledge, are the biggest clubs in the world.
Yeah, no, I think you can't work for a bigger club than Manchester United, because I think everywhere in the world we travel with the team. I think traffic stops, the town comes to an halt just because Manchester United is there, and I think that tells you the magnitude and how it is. But it was important for an African, when you come from disadvantage and you find yourself working at the biggest club. It's only normal that you want to educate and empower yourself. So for me to have all the best equipment for training and just all the learning that I could possibly do, I was taking in, because I know one day, as an African, to have been at the best and the biggest club in the world, the knowledge and the power that I can install in our people to help us also get to where we were, that for me was the biggest part about working at Manchester United, was just to have all the technology, all the information that one needs to help you become the best coach or the best football player in the world that I had at my disposal. So I've learned, and now is my time to give back to Africa.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And of course, he's going to work with Harambee Stars, and one day they will stop traffic all over the world. Hopefully, we'll be holding a trophy on a bus, you know, and moving around. Well, Benny McCarthy, I want to say thank you very much. Unfortunately, because of time, you have one question, Bodo?
Welcome to Kenya, Coach Benny, and thank you for choosing us, because I'm pretty sure you had a lot of options, but you chose us. As an aspiring coach that has looked up to you, both while you were a player and right now as a coach, I'd say that you're one of the best coaches that we have on the continent. 5-10 years from now, what will Kenyan coaches say that they gained from Benny McCarthy being our coach?
I think the biggest thing that you want to leave, that you want players to come, every single player that comes to Kenya national team comes with the right mindset, comes with the right attitude, comes with the right discipline, come with the will to learn. And that's what I want to leave here. When players come to the national team, you learn, you become better, and then you go back there and then you give back to what you've learned. And those are the things that I think is fundamental, because coaches come here to try and win football matches, but players take nothing from it. You understand? And I want players, when you coach, players are taking in all the information because it helps them to improve, it helps them to get better to their club, but then also eventually one day to have the ambition that they now are equipped with what they need and that they can face to go to Europe and go to and try and trade their place in the best clubs in the world. And those are the knowledge that I want to give. So that is one day that I know Kenya have the mentality that players are not, you play in the local league, but you have the mindset, you have the mentality, and yet you have the tools that you can make it in Europe as well. Because I heard you said a few years back we didn't have that. So that is what I want to, the legacy that I want to last.
Thank you very much, Benny McCarthy. Now, I know there's so many more questions, but we don't have time for them right now. And I know today is an unveiling. It's very hunky-dory, but I know Kenyan media, they have hard questions as well. If you want to get in touch with Benny, please contact Jeff Kinanjui. You all know him. He's doing media and communications for FKF. And he will tell you whether there will be an opportunity to have more interviews with Benny McCarthy as a follow-up to today. But for today, it was about unveiling Benny McCarthy, about finding out his vision. FKF have made their vision clear. And I think everybody wants to see Harambee Stars succeed. So for me, I'm just asking, let's support. Let's offer our support. There's nothing to gain. There's nothing to gain by being unreasonably critical all the time. If we're going to critique, and critique will be there, let's do it with the aim of coming out positively on the other side. So now we have a gift giving ceremony. You cannot be part of the family without receiving a gift. This is how we welcome people here in Kenya. So I think the first gift that we're going to give out is from
the Dedan Mungai, the general manager of Odibets. Well, McCarthy, Odibets has been a partner of the Federation for some time. And where's the gift, kindly? Odibet has been a partner, and I believe is still going to be a partner. So at this moment, I'd request my general manager, Dedan Mungai, to kindly present the first award. Thank you very much, Dedan.
Yes. It's a lion.
Thank you very much to Dedan Mungai from Odibet. And I hope Odibet will come in with more support.
No, Odibet is always there, Caro. So don't worry. Odibet is always there.
We'll continue. We'll always be there to support.
Asante sana.
And at least it's good to see that McCarthy has brought even Liverpool and Arsenal and Man U together. Liverpool in particular.
We have a signed jersey. Sorry, this one is for Munib. So Munib, if you could come up
Please
as well.
Join us upstairs.
Munib will be the goalkeeping coach. She has worked before with Benny McCarthy at Orlando Pirates and through several of his stints. If Francis Kimanzi,
kindly
please come up to present
yes.
a national team jersey to Munib.
My friend, but don't mistake me from a goalkeeper.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And welcome.
Well, the next.
Thank you.
Well, the next. The next gift will be presented by the Deputy President, and his jersey. Apparently, it's jersey number 17, which was McDonald Mariga's jersey. And if I'm not wrong, this jersey was somewhere else. Yes.
So from one UEFA Champions League champion to another UEFA Champions League champion.
Great minds think alike.
Oh!
Great minds think alike. Okay. So what you mean is that great minds put on number 17. That should be my next jersey, yeah? Okay. Thank you very much. Home.
And because Benny is about to lead us into battle.
We are walking into a battlefield.
We're walking into a battlefield. So, to give out a shield and a spear, FKF President Hussein Mohammed. Benny,
wow.
This is a symbol of what's to come.
Wow.
So all the weapons you need to take on the judges.
And please use it wisely.
Wow.
Oh.
There it is.
But of course, the battle will be fought on the pitch. There shall be no spear. What is it? It's thrown. Spear throwing. So thank you very much. Thank you very much. So we've actually come to the end of our program for today. As I said, any follow-up interviews, please contact Jeff Kinanjui. He will organize it through the FKF office. I understand we have to be very cautious how we manage, because I'm sure if everybody wants an interview, there'll be like 600 interviews, which of course you cannot give. I hope a lot of information has been given out today. So I just want to thank you all for coming. My name is Carol Radul. I want to thank you all for coming here today. I want to thank you for being part of this unveiling of our national team coach, Benny McCarthy. I want to thank everybody who's on stage, Kimanzi, Beldin, future World Cup champion coach, Anthony Kimani. I need to stop calling you Modo in official settings. Vice President of FKF.
There's a gentleman, I don't know if he'll be able to say something. My teammate, Senator Kericho, kindly come up. Please come. Kindly. Well, this gentleman, other than legislation, is a very good striker. Kindly just come and say something. Karibu sana. You were not expecting to say something?
He's a striker from Bunge United, by the way.
Yeah, a very good striker, of course.
Okay. So these are 3 strikers. Anyway, I wish you well, Benny. We've really yearned to celebrate when Harambee Stars play. And I know better days are ahead of us. So we came here just to support and wish the very best. Thank you so much.
I know before, if this doesn't happen, the Liverpool fraternity will be on my case. Mheshimiwa, karibu. Njoo, Liverpool ni mmoja tu hapa. Kwani kuna mwingine? Karibu sana, Mheshimiwa.
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
When I met Ben a few days ago, the first thing that struck was the fact that he was a Manchester fan. At a time when I'm a Liverpool fan when we are on cloud 9. But it's just to wish him well. I see this said by Hussein and Mariga. They have brought in the right energy, the right mentality. We want to get Kenyans back into the stadiums. We want the enthusiasm of the game. We want young Kenyans who are talented to play at every stage. Your brother played at Tottenham when he scored a very good goal against Liverpool. So I'm hoping a Kenyan will play against Tottenham and return that goal back, for Liverpool sooner than later. But I think we wish you well. We wish the team well. Let's not also hit ourselves too hard. I heard somebody say that we are toxic. We are not toxic. We are a very good, great nation, a great people, loving people. We just are critical or inquisitive because we have grown in a democracy that asks a lot of questions. But trust me, Kenyans are not toxic. Please stop branding the Kenyan space. Stop branding Kenyans on the social media. We are a good people, and McCarthy will feel at home together with Munib. You already have started feeling at home. It will be even better as you progress. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. It's not easy when a politician talks for 2 minutes. They've really held themselves together. Thank you very much.
I thought he was going to talk for 22 minutes. But please pardon me for breaking the protocol. I'd like also to request Mr. Musonye, the local organizing committee for Chan, a gentleman who is taking us to another battlefield. Karibu sana, Nicholas Musonye.
Coach, welcome. Thank you very much. Thank you, President of FKF, Vice President,
Senator Cheruyot and Omar, FKF executive who are here, protocol observed, and my media friends. I want to welcome you to Kenya with a promise that you are in good hands. You are in a good federation's hands, and what we need as a LOC, Local Organizing Committee of CHAN and AFCON, bring CHAN in August. We guarantee you to stay here to 2032. Is that so? So I want to ask Kenyans, as Karo has said, let us be patient, let us give FKF space, and let us give our new coach time to build our team. We have all been very keen to have a good coach with the support of the local coaches to take us to the next level. So I want to wish you well, but remember, this is a country of Liverpool. Thank you very much, and God bless you. God bless you, and I wish you well. Thank you very much, President. And LTPETs, support our federation. Government of Kenya, support our federation. Let the coach not stop when you are here. Thank you very much.
I won't comment on it's a Liverpool country. Today we're talking about Kenyan football and about the growth and development of Kenyan football. Now, it's impossible to acknowledge everybody who's here because we will leave somebody out, Arocho. But I just want to say we have legends in the house as well.
Yes, yes.
Bobby Ogola,
Where are you?
Moyoti. There's some of them, Ghost Mule. We have so many legends in the house,
Guys,
and I hope that we can have
our legends kindly tusimame tu so that we can recognize you. Samuel Molopamzo, Bob Ogola, Mulama, Wanga, Alfred Chege, Muyoti. It is nice to see you guys. Even you're a legend. Please stand up. Come guys,
okay, come on stage. The FKF president is inviting you on stage. You know we are Kenyans. If there's no photo session, there's no event. Simeon, hey Mulama.
Well, the legends are coming up. I'd also like to recognize the presence of the PS, East Africa Community. Abdi, Dubat, karibu sana. Paul Tergat, kuwa tayari, ebu panda hapa juu. You're also a legend. Panda hapa juu. Pia wewe ni legend. Guys, let's.
Situma, Salim Ahmed. Is there a camera? Is there a camera? Can we all face the camera? Can we all face forward and have a quick photo session? Alan Wanga, I know how you like photos. Let's face.
Aaron Dege, you are a legend.
He's from Western. He likes photos.
Okay, guys.
Photo session. I don't know if the camera is wide enough. We know which community love photos the most.
Well, let's be ready for the photo. Now, one of the legends will say something, and of course, the most decorated legend, Paul Tergat. Kindly tell us something.
Thank you very much. I want to say that I'm truly honored to be part and parcel of this event of launching our football national coach of Harambee Stars. Congratulations, coach. We are proud of you. Remember those days also when I was still a young man internationally. I never knew that one day, one time, I could be sitting or standing in the position that I have. So coach, and to all sportsmen around the country, you have a potential to be able to reach to any heights. As I said again, Kenya is one of the die-hard fanatic of football in this country. So football is huge. And I want to encourage, and especially now that we are going to Jan in August, we are looking to you to deliver. We are hosting this for the first time. So as we wait for AFCON and others, we are together. So thank you very much, Mr. President. This is, you have opened a door that all of us are going to enjoy. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much to Paul Tergat. And by the way, we talk a lot about CHAN, AFCON, World Cup qualification. There's also Olympic qualification. There's football at the Olympics as well. So Tergat will be coming to you for support as well for that. And I think you've elected Bobby Ogola to speak on behalf of the legends.
Wow. Hello, all Kenyans. Welcome, Benny, to Kenya. Thank you, Mr. President, for bringing him here. He's one of us. Just like the head of the NOC has said, let us give the coach all the support, because I know he can do it. I watched him play since he was a young man. I'm older than you by about 20 years. And he's done well. He's gone through the paces, and I think he can deliver. So for us, it's just to bear with the situation and give him time. I know federations don't give coaches time when they lose, but please, I'm pleading with you. I know with time, he'll make us happy. Otherwise, thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, and I wish him well. Thank you.
Thank you very much, John Bobby Ogola. Well, Caro?
No, that's it. That's it, Arocho. I think we've taken the photos as well. Thank you very much to all the legends. I think we can now close this unveiling. I'm sure Benny is itching to get to work. He's itching to get to work.
I'm getting uncomfortable in these shoes. I want my boots.
On that note, whoever told me don't wear high shoes, wear sneakers. Thank you very much.
I'm the one who told you that. Well, once again, we recognize the High Commissioner of South Africa to Kenya. Once again, we recognize your presence. Caro, other than that, I'll leave it to you. And the NEC members present, of course, we also recognize and appreciate your presence.
All right, thank you. Those of you on stage you can go and sit down. Having the program for photos. All right, we've actually officially come to the end of the event. We are going to have a very quick photo session after this. But for those of you who have deadlines, you are free to leave if you have to go and file your stories. But thank you for coming. We'll have a photo session. Thank you very much for coming. The government officials and the High Commissioner, please stay behind for some photo session. FKF officials as well, please stay behind for a photo session. Today is the good stuff. The hard work begins tomorrow. The tough questions begin tomorrow. Benny, I've been very nice to you today. But I'm watching. We're all watching, but we're all going to be very gracious. Thank you all for coming. My name is Kara Radu. My co-host, Fred Arocho. Thank you all for coming. Let's give this man all the support he needs. Thank you very much. Peace.
DJ, hold on. The government officials that are around, led by Indakwa, where you kindly, the PS, kindly join in the photo.
The panelists who have taken, once you've taken a photo with him, please give space to government officials.
Bila shaka hatimaye Benny McCarthy ametajwa kuwa kocha mkuu wa timu ya taifa Harambee Stars leo hii katika hafla ya kufana sana. Amepatiwa kandarasi ya miaka 2 na shirikisho la soka humu nchini FKF, na ni baada ya yeye kulimbikiziwa sifa sufufu, lakini swali ambalo wengi wanajiuliza ni je, sifa hizo ataweza kuzileta na kufanya mapinduzi katika soka ya taifa la Kenya? Kumbuka kwamba ana kibarua kizito ambacho kina mkodolea macho kwa sasa, manake tarehe 17 mwezi huu atakuwa nakutana na Gabon, kisha baadaye tarehe 24 atakuwepo nyumbani hapa katika mechi nyingine ya kuweza kufuzu katika mashindano ya kuwania kombe la dunia 2026 ambalo litaandaliwa baadaye nchini Marekani, Mexico, hali kadhalika Canada. Lakini kwa wale wote waliozungumza leo hii wakiwemo makocha Beldin Odemba, Modo, hali kadhalika Kimanzi, walikuwa wanasema kile ambacho kinahitajika ni fursa ya kuweza kupatiwa free hand kama alivyothibitishiwa na rais wa shirikisho la soka humu nchini Bwana Hussein Mohamed. Akasema yeye hata italifiana kabisa na kazi ya kocha mpya ambaye ameteuliwa na kutajwa leo, Benny McCarthy, na atakuwa ni Mwafrika Kusini wa kwanza kuweza kuongoza taifa la Kenya, na si hilo tu, pia atakuwa ndo kocha wa 36 wa Kenya kuwahi kuifunza Kenya tangia Harambee Stars iwezwe kuundwa mwaka 1961. Mengi zaidi tutakuwa tunakuletea katika taarifa zetu za saa 1, hali kadhalika saa 3. Zidi kufuatilia KBC Channel 1, na kutoka hapa tunamtakia kila laheri kocha Benny McCarthy na kikosi chake kizima, manake atakuwa anasaidiwa na mwenzake Vasili Manusak pamoja na Monib Joseph na Pilela Maposa. Kutoka kwangu Isaac Lemoka, na kuaga mpaka wakati ujao.
Technology has become a crucial part of our society. Without technological advancements, so much of our everyday lives would be drastically different. As technology develops, it strives to fulfill the changing needs of society. This means that technology exists to help us achieve the things that we wouldn't be able to achieve without it. Take on Tech looks at the advantages and downside of tech